Okay. Oh. What's up? Sly Cut here. We're gonna play Slay the Spire. So I just got the platinum trophy for this last night. Very tough platinum. Took me months. I almost gave up on getting it, and then PS5. I got my PS5, and I reinstalled it. I was like, let me give this another go. And the load times are much faster. Woot woot from those stages. And since the load times are much faster, the frame rate was much better. It was just better to look at. I was like, so I stuck with it and finally did it. And man, I had a lot of great fist pumping moments where it was like, oh, I finally did it! It was for different trophies, not just the platinum. So it was a lot of fun. So this is a deck building game. So we're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna play, go to standard. They have where you can do custom things, you know, make your own rules and how you want to play things if you're into that. They have daily climbs where they give you specific challenges to do every day. Those can be fun. You do have to complete one of those for the platinum. But there's just the standard, which we're gonna go with. So there's 4 characters to choose from. There's only these 3 at launch. This one was added as a free update later. So you pick which one. They start with different amounts of health. They all start with the same amount of gold. And you see along the bottom of the screen there, it says set seed in the bottom left. So what that is every time you start a run, it has some unique seed, it's called. A string of numbers and letters. So if you played a run that was like, oh, I really liked when this happened, or I really liked the cards that were there, you can share that seed number with your pal, and he can jump in there, put the same one, and play the same run you did. It's like, let's see if you can do better than me on this run. And everything will be the exact same. But if you do that, then you can see on the bottom, trophies are disabled, so you cannot use custom seeds for trophies. On the bottom there, it says Ascension. That unlocks for each specific character. So when you beat the game with a character, you unlock Ascension mode. You hit triangle to activate it, and then you unlock level 1. So elites, which are much tougher enemies, will spawn more often at Ascension level 1. If you beat Ascension level 1, you unlock level 2, which I have not done for this character, but I have for this one. You can see I've gone all the way to 20. 20 is the max. So at level 2, normal enemies are deadlier. Plus, level 1, elites spawn more often. So as you beat each Ascension level, it adds another thing to it. Elites are deadlier, bosses are deadlier, which basically means they do more damage. You heal less after boss battles. And it just keeps adding challenges and challenges. You have to beat level 20 on a character, not all of them, just one of them. So after you played a bunch, pick your character, get through. Once you get to 15, 17, really 17, but 15 to 20 is very difficult. I was stuck on all these for a while, but I think it was specifically 18. It was 18 or 19 I was stuck on for a long time, and that's when I almost gave up. But then on PS5, I think I beat 19 and 20. 20, this one, at the final boss, we'll get into it. You have to fight 2 bosses, basically, at the end, which is really tough. So this character, the Silent, is the one I've definitely played the most of. That was the one I chose to go to Ascension level 20 with, because he's got a lot of, he's got poison cards or shiv cards, which lets you generate a lot of free-to-play cards. So he's got a lot of cool things. The Ironclad, he is like a tank. You know, he heals after that. You see right there, his starting relic, the Burning Blood, at the end of each combat heals 6 HP. So you can kind of just go in and really do some damage and heal up a little bit after each battle, not kind of worried about taking some hits here and there. But he's also got really cool tank focused, which is my favorite run, or favorite kind of deck to build on him, is just build a ton of blocking. But I'm not going to get too in depth with how each character works yet. We'll start out with the We'll go with the Ironclad. He's the most basic, and you actually only start out with the Ironclad when you first start the game. You have to win with the Ironclad before you unlock the Silent, and then you have to win with the Silent before you unlock the Defect. So this is like the god of the game, this whale here. You're trying to ascend the Spire to the top. So we're going to talk to him, and he will give you a random buff or something. So we could remove a card from our deck, which this is our deck right here. You start out with 5 strikes and 4 defends on the Ironclad. All the starting decks are different, but almost all of them will have strikes and defend cards. Excuse me. And then they usually have some cards that are unique to them. So basic, deal 6 damage, gain 5 block, which is like armor. Deal 8 damage, apply to vulnerable. Vulnerable just makes that enemy take more damage while they're vulnerable. They take 50% more damage. And then the numbers in the orange circles in the top corner of the cards is how much energy it costs to play that card. So you see most of them are 1 except Bash's 2. Up here are potion slots, which there's dozens of potions that do different things. See, we have a gold up here, our health, and then this is all your relics are lined up across here. We only have 1 right now. So the benefit of removing cards from your deck is when you get better cards, you don't want maybe these basic starting cards, or you want to come around to those stronger cards more often, so you remove the weaker cards. This one we can start out with 3 potions, which is actually really good depending on what they are, but they're random, so they could be kind of worthless. This one we could spend all 99 of our gold to get plus 16 max health. It's also very good because when you heal at the rest sites, you heal a percentage of your max health. So the more max health you get, or you have, the more you heal at the rest sites. And this one you can trade in your starting relic for a random boss relic. So whenever you beat a boss, you get a boss relic. They're really powerful. So you could trade out your starting relic for a random boss relic, but we're just going to stick with the one we have now. We will remove a card from our deck, because like I said, the kind of deck I like to play with him, I don't like a lot of attack cards on him. Okay, so this is the map. This is the first tower, or the first section of the Spire. Each one of these icons going up so these are all on the first floor. So we're on the first floor right now. So we're going to pick which one to go, and then from here you can move on to the next adjoining path, and you work your way up the Spire. Each level up is a floor, and then when you get to the top of this section, you fight the boss. And the little picture there shows the type of boss you'll be fighting, because there's different Act 1 bosses, different Act 2 bosses, and so on. So that one is like the slime boss, and we'll talk more about him when we get there. So this icon here you can see on the side, on the legend over here, those are just regular enemies. All right, and these, which are not, there you go, whoops. These here are the elite enemies that we talked about earlier. They are much harder to defeat. Some of them specifically counter certain kinds of decks too. So if you built a deck a certain way and you come across one that oh, your deck is awful against this one. There's one in particular that I hate. Every time you play a skill card, which, see, these are attack cards, it says in the middle, and then these are skill cards. So certainly I hate, he gets stronger every time you play a skill card, so you're just supposed to lay into him with attacks, but if you don't have a lot of attacks in your deck, all he does is get stronger, so he's tough. I really hate him. But there's a lot of really bad ones. So these are merchants. He sells a bunch of cards and relics and potions that you can buy, or you can also pay him to remove a card from your deck. Treasure spots. It has a treasure chest with usually just a relic and maybe some gold in it. And then these are rest sites, where when you come here, you can either rest and heal a percentage of your max health, or you can upgrade one of your cards. And again, all of these things can be modified in different ways with different relics and things like that. So I like to chart a path that avoids elites. Whenever you beat an elite, you get a relic, and relics can be really good and game changing. So if you feel up to it, you can fight the elites, but it's very hard sometimes. So sometimes they can end in a run, or you can take the risk and try and get a relic. But as you see in this case, it doesn't matter because all three paths have a relic, not a relic, an elite that we have to go through. There is no path that avoids the elites, and sometimes that'll happen. Especially when you're the higher ascension levels and there's more elites, it's very hard to avoid them. So you can see we're going to have to fight one either way. Now you see that one elite there that's kind of got the flame icon flashing behind it. That doesn't happen until you've beaten the game. And you see in the top left corner there, it's got that like 3 triangle ninja star looking thing. 3 keys go there, 3 diamonds that you unlock, or that you find throughout the run. If you get all 3 of those and beat the game, you unlock the 4th act, which is how you get the true ending of the game, and you beat the boss there. We're not going to do that this run. We're just going to do a basic run. So that elite there has got the flame behind him flashing because he has one of those diamonds. So the way you get those, there is one elite that has one. Every time you go to a rest site, you have the option to get one, but you have to skip resting or upgrading a card just to get the key. And then the other one is in the treasure chests. Every treasure chest will have the last one. And you can skip getting the relic to get the key instead. You don't get both. So that's how you get all 3 keys. But then you beat the game. But like I said, that's not something you can do right from the get-go. You have to unlock the ability to do that, and then you can do that to get the true ending, which is fun, but it can be very difficult. And you have to beat the game with each character, each of the 3 original characters, to get the platinum. But when you're going through Ascension level 20 and all that, you don't have to. You can just do the basic 3x. So we're going to go ahead and start, I think, on one of the sides, because you can see on the sides there, right before the elites, there's I call them bonfires because of Dark Souls, but that gives us the opportunity to heal if we need to right before we fight the elite, and that's important. But there's a lot more enemies on the side paths too. I'd like to go up the middle right there. There's more question marks. The question marks are unknown. You don't know what they are. They can literally be anything. And sometimes, actually, I don't know if they can be rest sites. I don't know if I've ever seen it be a rest site, but I've seen it be everything else. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. So I kind of like to avoid go the path that has the least amount of fights overall. Some would argue against that because you get, every time you beat an enemy, you can get cards and gold and stuff. And I know I'm spending a lot of time talking about this and not actually getting into the action. I'm sorry about that, but we're gonna go start here. All right. And of course, when you first start, you don't know anything about anything, so it's like you're gonna be what? You're not gonna win on your first try. I actually did win on my first try playing this game, but I lucked out with the cards I got because it was another 10 or 12 runs before I won a second time, so I lucked out. So you can kind of look around. So the thing above his head shows what he's going to do next. You can see he has 51 health. And that little blue flame means he's going to do some type of buff to himself on the next turn. Now, I already know what that buff is because I've played him a million times. So he's not going to attack on his next turn, so we don't have to worry about defending. So we'll go ahead and apply vulnerable and do damage at the same time. And you can see this card normally does 6 damage, but since he has the vulnerable, which is what the little heart icon is, receive 50% more damage from attacks for 2 turns. So when we try to use this card, and you can see the damage on the card switches to 9, it's going to do an extra 3 damage. And now we're out of energy, which is on the bottom left there. See, it says 0 of 3. You start out with 3, and we just used all 3, so we can't do anything else. At this point, you could, if you had a relic, or not a relic, a potion, you could use it. You can use them at any time, but at this point, we don't have any, but you could use them here. Hold on one second. Real life. Alright, sorry about that. Had to help my kids with something. Okay, so we're going to end our turn because there's nothing else we can do. All the cards left over go into your discard pile, which I just tried to open, but it's empty now. So you can hit L2 to see what's left in your draw pile. That's not the order they will be drawn. They're shown in a random order. You don't know what order they're going to be drawn in. So we just drew a new hand. So you draw 5 cards every turn. There are things that can change the number of cards you draw. So you can see now he's going to do 6 damage on his next turn. He's going to attack for 6 damage. And the buff was he added that ritual, that feather icon. And it says at the end of its turn, gain 3 strength. So he's going to gain 3 strength every turn, which means his attacks are going to do 3 extra damage every single turn. And not just 3 damage, like it stacks. So the next damage he'll be doing, or next turn he'll be doing 9 damage, and the turn after that 12 damage, and so on. So a defend will let us block 5 damage. So I'm going to play 1 defend. So when he hits us, it's only going to do 1 damage. We could play another one and make it do 0 damage, but I want to do as much damage to him as possible before he gets a ton of strength. And he still has vulnerable on, so these are going to do 9 damage. And now we're out of energy again. And remember, our relic up here lets us heal 6 HP at the end of combat. So even if he does eventually 6 damage to us, we'll get it all back when we beat him. So he attacked. He went through the 5 block that we put up and did 1 damage. See, so now he got strength. He lost his vulnerable, and he's got 3 more strength. So he's going to do 9 damage. So we could use this. It's going to do 8 damage and apply 2 more vulnerable. And then this one will do 9 damage and wipe him out. And then we just got our 6 health for finishing a combat. So now we're back at full health. So perfect. And we get 17 gold. And we can add a card to our deck. So it brings up 3 choices, 3 random choices for us to pick. And the type of deck I want to build, we're not going to take any of these cards. I don't want any of them. This one applies weak to an enemy, which makes them do 25% less damage for that many turns. This one shuffles a wound into your deck, which is just an unplayable card. So it's like it makes it harder. It just adds random card, a card you can't use into your deck. So it basically takes up one of your cards, and it makes you have less choices. So they're bad to have. But it's a cheap card that does a lot of damage. 1 energy for 12 damage is good. And this card lets us choose an attack or power card, add a copy of that card into your hand. So if we have a good power card, which we'll get to when we see one, you can add another copy of it into your hand, and then you'd have more than one, obviously. But we're not going to get any of those cards. We're going to skip the card. So now we get to choose which way to go. We could go to the left, which would be 2 enemies, because I want to go up the middle path where that elite is. So this would be 2 enemies and 2 question marks. Or this one would be 2 question marks, 1 enemy, and a merchant. And that is better to me. So we're going to go question mark way. So we don't know what this is going to be. It's an event, which most of them are, but sometimes it's usually an event, or just a fight, a regular fight. So a winged statue. Among the stone and boulders, you notice an intricate large blue statue resembling a wing. You find gold spilling from its cracks. Maybe there's more inside. So we can pray and remove a card from our deck, but we're going to lose 7 HP. If we had a card that did 10 or more damage, we could do this option. We don't know what it is. It's locked. I know what it is because I've done it before. So if you have a card that does 10 or more damage, you can use it on the blue thing and bust it and get like 50 or 70 gold or something like that. 50 to 70 gold, I think it is. And you don't lose any health for that, I don't believe. So that's a good option to do. But I like removing cards from my deck, like I said, so we're going to take the 7 health hit and get rid of another strike. And move on to the next one, which is just a regular battle. So these are slimes. These actually are little creatures that will make up the boss we're going to fight, the slime boss. So we're definitely going to take some damage here. They're going to do 11 damage overall. We can only block 10 if we used both of these. But I think what I want to do is block 5 and then use my 2 strikes to just destroy this one. Alright. And you can see this one, he's going to do 8 damage, but he's got those green little circles floating around behind the damage icon. So he intends to inflict a negative effect on you and attack for 8 damage. So he's going to do something negative to us, some type of status effect, or add a card to our deck, or something like that, something negative, along with the damage. So let's see what he does. He did 3 damage and he added a slimed card. So again, this is just a card. Instead of drawing a 5th card that would give us more options, or maybe something better, obviously, then this does nothing. It just takes up spot. Now we can spend 1 energy to exhaust it. When you exhaust a card, it takes it out of this combat. It's out of the game until we end the combat. Well, actually, I take that back. This particular card is not added to our deck permanently. It's just added for this combat. And when you exhaust a card, you remove it from combat. So we could do that. But he's not going to attack next turn. He's just going to do another negative effect to us. So since he's not attacking, we don't have to worry about blocking. I am going to attack all the cards that I can. And we still have 1 energy left over. Blocking would be pointless, so we're going to exhaust this card, get rid of it. And you can always hit R1 to see the cards that you exhausted. And you can see exhaust means removed until end of combat. So we're going to end our turn, can't do anything else. And he applied Frail to us. So that means whenever we add block, we gain 25% less block from cards for 1 turn. So now instead of 5, these only block for 3 now. So if we wanted to not take any damage, we would have to use all 3 of these block cards just to block his 8 damage. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to bash him. That's going to deal 8 damage and apply 2 vulnerable, which takes him down to 8 health. And now this 6 damage card, since he is vulnerable, will do 9 damage. We're going to take him out. And we got our 6 health back. Not quite to full health, but we're still looking really good. So we get our 12 gold. And here we go. Now we're getting, man, all these cards are good. Like I said, the type of deck I'm trying to build with him is a block-focused deck, to where we add we're defense-focused, but we have some cards that take advantage of that. In particular, Body Slam. So with Body Slam, you deal damage equal to your block. And we can view these cards, and the cool thing about viewing these cards is this is the card art for it. They had different card art during the beta. You can press square and switch it back to the old beta art if you like that better. And you do that for each card individually, and it'll stay that way. See, so if you like that better, you can do that. But almost always, this card art is just cooler. And at any time, like I said, you can upgrade cards. You can hit triangle to view what the upgraded version would be. And you can see this changes to Body Slam Plus, and it's free to cast at that point. Instead of 1, it's 0, which is the goal, is to get Body Slam and make it free to cast. So then we can just pump up the block and then use a Body Slam to do a bunch of damage and still block all the damage they were going to do. This card, see, this is a good one because it does block and damage. So you gain 5 block and you deal 5 damage. Obviously very good for what we're trying to do. And this card, I really like this card, Armaments. So you gain 5 block and then you upgrade a card in your hand just for the rest of the combat, at the end of combat, to go back to their normal state. But if you upgrade this card, it upgrades all cards in your hand for the rest of combat. See, at this point, you can just pick, when you play this, you pick 1 card in your hand to upgrade. But if you upgrade this first and then play it, you upgrade all cards in your hand for the rest of combat, which is super good. There's the beta art for that in case you were curious. Hold on 1 second. Alright, so I really like this card, and I usually go for it because it makes it so you don't have to upgrade at rest sites that often. But we're going to go with Body Slam too, because if we don't get this card, the deck we're kind of build doesn't really work well at all. There are other cards that will make it work, but this one is the bread and butter. So we're going to get this one first, and hopefully we'll get one of these later. If not, you can live without it, but it is just a nice card to have. So Body Slam it is. So at this point, we can go either way. This one has a merchant just like this one, but it also has an enemy, which I don't really... And this middle path has a second merchant up there as well. The shops are really good because it makes it easier to get the cards that you're trying to get. A living wall event, so you can see there's faces on that wall. As you come to a dead end and begin to turn around, walls slam down from the ceiling, trapping you. 3 faces materialize from the walls and speak. Forget what you know and I'll let you go. I require change to see a new space. If you want to pass me, then you must grow. So we can choose to forget, change, or grow. We choose which one we want to do. So it's remove a card from our deck, transform a card in your deck, or upgrade a card in my deck. So this is a great event because you get to do any of these. So if you transform a card, we haven't talked about that yet. You pick a card, and it will change it to a random card in the game. So that can be good, or it can be bad. Typically, if if you transform a strike or defend, your most basic cards, it usually will end up being better in some way. Maybe not the way you want it to be. Like, oh, let me transfer my strike. Hopefully, I'll get a stronger attack card, and then you get, a defense card, a better defense card. Like, oh, I wanted a strike card. I'd rather have my regular strike. That might happen. If you want to game the system, you can transform the card. And if it's not what you like, just quit the game and reload it. It'll put you back into the beginning of this event, and then you just pick a different option. Don't pick transform again, because even though it picks a random card, it has already selected which card it will be when it saves. So it won't be different if you quit the game, reload, and transform again. It'll be the same card. And normally I would check that first to see what card it is, and then quit and reload if I don't like it. But for the sakes of this stream, we're not going to do that. We're just going to remove a card from our deck. Actually, I'm wrong. We're not. Oh no, I already selected it. Dang it! I forgot we had Body Slam. I wanted to upgrade that. Okay, well we'll just remove Strike. Also good. I really meant to upgrade Body Slam. So this is the Merchant. So you can always see what he has at no cost. And look right there. There's an Armaments card. That would be great. We might end up getting that, but let's look around first. So he usually has 2 attack cards, 2 skills, a power card, and then 2 colorless cards, which, as you can see, all the cards he gets are red. The other characters have different colored cards. You don't see their cards. Like, I won't see any cards from the Silent in this game, unless there are some relics and some, I think there's some colorless cards as well, that will let you get cards from the other characters. Like, I think there's a relic that just makes all colors appear. Which is cool. It can really change up how the game works using cards from their decks. Not something I usually go for. Colorless cards are just kind of neutral cards that the colorless cards are the same across all the characters. And they do many different things. You can see the bomb. You play that card. In 3 turns, it'll do 40 damage to all enemies, which is massive. But it costs 2 energy, and it takes 3 turns for it to do anything, so not something I usually go for. He also has 3 relics and 3 potions, or you can pay to remove a card. But every time you use his card removal service, the cost goes up 25. So right now it's 75. In the next shop, we'll be able to do this again, but it'll cost 100. So it costs more the more you do it. Power cards. So we haven't talked about them. Power cards, when you play them once and they go away, but you get whatever benefit is on there. So this one, we just gain 2 strength, and then the card's gone. We don't get to use it again. So like I said, they can be really powerful. And that is a great card, and if I wasn't doing this defense-focused deck, I might get that. But, excuse me. And you could see how this card here could really synergize with this card. So you use this card, get 2 strength, and then you have this skill to double your strength. So it would change it from 2 to 4. And then you can see it says exhaust on this card, which means it goes away, right? But if you upgrade this card, the exhaust goes away, so you get to keep it. So every time you come across this card, you could double your strength. That makes it very powerful indeed. Again, if you can build a strength-focused deck, there's actually a trophy for having a ton of strength in one combat, and that card played a huge part in it. You can see this cleave here deals 8 damage to all enemies. That can be very helpful against the fights that have a lot of small enemies. But we are first and foremost going to remove a strike. And we have, look at that, 1 spare gold, and we can get armaments. Which I'm going to get. I just like this card too much. We could save our gold, because we, like I said, we have another merchant coming up. But I like that card. And we already got Body Slam, so we're going to go with it. So let's proceed. And next is the Elite. So here we go. We got almost max health, no potions, and this is actually the exact Elite I was talking about earlier. So he's going to buff himself, and that buff is going to be every time you play a skill, he gains strength. So the goal here is just nail him down as fast as we can, and that's going to be hard to do at this point. So we kind of drew the short straw getting him. So let's do the damage that we can. So we got vulnerable on him, which is good. See, I can play this card, but then do I upgrade Body Slam or Bash? In this case, I might want to upgrade Bash, because when you upgrade Bash, it does 2 more damage, but a vulnerable lasts 3 longer, which isn't that big a deal. It doesn't need to last longer because we have so few cards. We'll get around to this again before it runs out. I think, see, and when I play this, he's going to gain 2 strength because the enrage buff you put on him whenever you play a skill gains 2 strength. I think it's worth it for us to upgrade something. The thing is, for Body Slam, we have to have block. And do I want to be doing that? See, this is tough for me. I mean, I'm going to play this regardless, but just which one do I want to upgrade? I'm going to upgrade Body Slam. That might be a mistake. I don't know. So Body Slam is going to do 5 damage because we have 5 health, but since he's vulnerable, it's going to do 7 damage. All right. And you can see he's going to do 8 damage and do some negative effect to us. So we're going to take the 3 damage, and he made us vulnerable, so now we're going to take more damage. So see now, he's going to do 24 damage. So I could get 15 block from these 3 cards, and then attack with 15, plus the vulnerability would make him do more damage. But for each one of these I play, he's going to get 2 more strength, so he'll do 2 more damage for each one. But if I just play this 6 damage card and take the 24 damage, I mean, I could do that, but I think we're going to do this. So see, it went up to 27, which is 3. I guess because it was like 24.5 or something like that, and then it went up, I don't know. It was going up 3. I don't know how that works, but anyway. So we're still going to take less damage than if we went the other route. And we're going to do 22 damage. So that's good. We still took 18 damage, which is rough. So look what we're going to do here. We're going to use this, but we're not going to upgrade this. He already has vulnerable on. We're going to upgrade this and make it do 8 block instead of 5. And then we're going to use this. So he's going to do 42 damage now. We're going to block 18 of it. Oh, look at that. He's going to have 1 health left. I was hoping it would knock him out. I didn't stop to do the math, but so that kind of sucks. I was hoping that he'd be gone and we wouldn't take the damage. As you can see, he's got 1 health left. So we're going to take all that damage, which isn't a huge deal because we're going to beat him next turn. So you can see we took 24, and now we can just hit him with anything and knock him out. So you see you get great stuff for beating an elite though. You get gold, you get a relic. This is War Paint. Upon pickup, upgrade 2 random skills. So you can see all these skills. 2 of them randomly will be updated. Hopefully it's armaments, that would be awesome. But even if it's the defend cards, that's okay too. So let's pick that up. And armaments is one of them, that's perfect. Best we could have hoped for. Alright, and now our first potion. So he dropped a strength potion. So this one, we just use it whenever we want to, and in that combat we'll have 2 strength. So that's great. And now we get a card. So there's another Body Slam, which we could get, and I probably will, honestly. This one, deal 7 damage, shuffle a Daze card into your draw pile. So the Daze card is another status card that just is fodder for your deck. It makes it like harder to get the cards you want. But you can see that one has Ethereal. Now what that means is that at the end of your turn, if it's still in your hand, a card with Ethereal, it will be exhausted. So they will go away if you don't discard them or anything like that. And Flame Barrier is a really cool card. So it costs 2, but you gain 12 block, and whenever you're attacked that turn, you deal 4 damage. So it is really good with a black deck because you put on the block and then you're not taking the damage, but they're still taking damage. So it's really cool, especially against some boss or some enemies and boss that will attack like 6 times in one turn. It's like, oh, let me do a little bit of damage but 6 times, this card will wreck them because they take damage for every one of those hits. And you would think it'd be really good in our deck, but I'm kind of hoping to get another card later, and it's better when you play more cards versus having more block, if that makes sense. So I'd rather have block cards that add, or that only cost 1 to cast instead of 2. So we're just going to get the other Body Slam because, like I said, we can make them free to cast, and having 2 of those will be huge if we get the cards we want. So here's a Rest Site. I would love to upgrade this other, these Body Slams, or one of them. We can only do 1 right now. But we do have the upgraded Armaments card, which will upgrade our cards during a fight. So we might just roll with that and go ahead and heal, because we only have 37 health, and bad things can happen. So you can see you heal 30% of your max HP, and it tells you 24 is what we're going to heal. It's 30% of 80. So the more max HP you have, the more you heal. So it brought us up to 61. So that's a comfortable spot to be in. Let's proceed. And we're at a merchant. Probably not going to be able to buy anything. We only have 34 gold. No, there's another Body Slam in there. This card is really cool. This turn, your next attack is played twice. So if you have a good attack card, play this card first, and you can play it twice. Or if you have lots of good attacks, upgrade this, and your next 2 attacks are played twice. So basically, for 1 energy, you can get to play 2 extra cards if you have it upgraded. So I'm not going to go through all the cards and stuff like that. Like really cool relics at the start of each combat, heal 2 health. Whenever you exhaust a card, you deal 3 damage to all enemies. I always buy this if you can. This makes everything in the shop 50% off, and you will save so much gold. I mean, even this is 50% off. Everything is 50% off. So buy this if you can. We obviously cannot. We can't afford anything. So moving on. So treasure chests, they're always good. I shouldn't say always. There are curses that can make them bad. Or relics, rather. So open the chest. There's 26 gold. And you can see that chain link in between these, which means you get to choose one of these. And only one. So this is that key I was talking about, where you need the 3 keys to get to the final act and the true ending. But we don't want that. We don't care about that. We want the relic. Ceramic fish. Whenever you add a card to your deck, you gain 9 gold. So nothing super game changing or anything, just a good, gold faucet to help you get some more gold. But we'll take it and proceed. So now there's no choices to go. We're going here. Once we get through the first act, I'll start going through these a lot faster. But I'm just kind of explaining things as we go. So these guys, they're going to do 12 damage to me overall. I can only block 10 of it. You can see they have the little icons under them. What do those mean? These are like little roly-poly bugs. So they have curl up on them. So when they receive attack damage, they're going to roll up and gain 6 block. But it's once per combat, so it's only going to happen 1 time. So when I hit one of them, they're going to gain 6 block, and that one's going to gain 5 block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heal up, so we only take 2 damage, and then I can only play 1. The strike deals 6 damage, so we're going to do Body Slam because we have 10 block. And we'll just do it to this one, actually. I'm just realizing, because he has way less health, and kill him outright. And now this guy's only going to do no damage to us. So we didn't have to take the 2 damage, so that's awesome. So now, here, we should kill him on this turn. Because we're going to do Armaments, which is going to upgrade all the other cards. You can see the green text means this card is already upgraded, just like this one. But these white ones are not upgraded. So we're going to use this. It's going to upgrade all the rest of the cards in our hand for the rest of this fight. So now these defends are going to give us 8 block. So we're going to use both of those. And now these Body Slams are free to use. And look, each one is going to do 21 damage because we have 21 block. So these guys are being killed in 1 hit. They didn't even get to use that buff they had. So perfect for us. Again, some neat cards here that do different things. Nothing we care about. This one can be cool. You deal damage to all enemies, and you heal you heal health for all the damage you do, the unblocked damage. And then it's a 1-use card because it gets exhausted. So a lot of cool cards that do different things, but you gotta pick and choose. Don't just take a card every time. because then you get a ton of stuff in your deck, and it's just a crapshoot on whether you get something that will be useful at the time. So you really want to try and keep your deck tight, and so that you'll be getting the things you want when you want them. Oops. So we're going to go this way because there's a rest site there, and that's what we want. We're going to use this armaments to upgrade the rest of our cards. And we're going to defend because that's all we can really do. And then once we fill up there, we have this free body slam. Does 21 damage, so it won't kill either of them. We'll just do it on this guy. Oh, and these guys, they're each going to do 6 damage, which we're obviously going to block all that. But they have Spore Cloud on, so when they die, they're going to apply 2 vulnerable to us. So if we knock this guy out, it's going to make us take more damage for 2 turns for this other guy to do more damage to us. So let's end our turn. Okay. So you can see he has 24 health, he has 2 health left. We're each going to do 12 damage. We're not going to be able to block that. We could get rid of him, which would help, but then it's going to make him do 9 damage because we're going to have vulnerable on us. So the only way this is going to work is if we can take them both, without taking damage, is if we can take them both out. Could use our strength potion to help, but we're not going to bother. If we take a little bit of damage, we take a little bit of damage. So what I think we're going to do, let's go ahead and put the block on, and we'll use the body slam to get rid of him. It's only 5 damage, so we don't waste much damage. And we have 2 energy left, so we could use the body slam and the strike. 6 plus 5 is 11. This is only 8 damage, but it also puts vulnerability on him. So we'll go ahead and do that. And we are going to take 4 damage, but that's okay. 1 second. Okay, so he's not going to attack us, which is good. He's going to buff himself, and I know that buff is he's just going to raise his strength. But you can see here we don't have any body slams, so all these defends, and he's not attacking, so these defense cards are kind of worthless right now. So this is really the only thing that will do anything, but we're going to use this armaments card first to upgrade that bash, and then we'll play the bash, which will almost kill him, leave him with 1 health, but that's okay. So we'll definitely be able to get him on this turn with a simple strike. So we're going to a fear potion. Pretty basic. You just throw it on an enemy, and they'll have 3 vulnerable on them. So here, I don't want to get a second armaments card. You really don't need more than 1. This one just gives you strength for the rest of your turn, which is really good, especially since it's free. You can upgrade it to give you 4 strength, but it doesn't really work with what we're doing. This card is actually a really cool card, Dropkick. So if the enemy is vulnerable when you attack them with this, you gain 1 energy and you draw a card. And the reason that's significant is you can upgrade it to do more damage. But the reason that's significant is if you have multiple of these and your deck is small enough, you can play this card infinitely and beat everything on that turn. So if you have, but you have to have at least 2 of these or some other cards. You know, there's several ways you could do it, but the idea is, it costs 1 to play this card, but you get that 1 back if you hit an enemy that's vulnerable. So you get vulnerable in the end, like a boss. Get vulnerable in the boss. Then you play this card. Then you play your second drop kick. And assuming the first drop kick you played is the only card that's not in your hand, you'll draw that. And then you play this one and draw the other one. Or if you have like 5 of these or something like that, it makes it easier. So I have done that before, and it's really cool to have an infinite deck. It's a lot of fun. Alright, so rest site. We're pretty good on health. This would heal us for 24, and we're only missing, 11? So not too worth it to me. We're going to upgrade a card. And as you can see here, I forgot to mention it, this is the Ruby key for the final act, if you want to select that instead, because you only get to pick 1 of these. We're going to upgrade a card, and we could upgrade our block, but we're going to upgrade these just so we can start using them right away before, just in case the armaments card isn't in the same hand as that. So another event, Golden Idol. You come across an inconspicuous pedestal with a shining gold idol sitting peacefully atop. It looks incredibly valuable. You sure don't see any traps nearby. So we could take the idol, but it's going to trigger a trap. What's the trap going to do? We don't know. I know because I've done it a million times. But we are going to take the idol because it is useful. So that golden idol, enemies drop 25% more gold. So you get a lot more gold. It's good. If you get it in the first act, it's worth taking. Third act, maybe not so much. As you grab the idol and stow it away, a giant boulder smashes through the ceiling into the ground next to you. You realize that the floor is slanted downward as the boulder starts to roll towards you. So try and outrun the boulder. You become cursed. So that card over there, the injury card, will go into your deck. And it's just an unplayable curse card, which is just a worthless card. And it stinks to have that in your deck. So you try to smash the boulder, you're going to take 20 damage. Or you can try and hide and you lose 6 max HP, which you wouldn't think is a big deal, but that means you're going to heal less at the rest sites. So, I don't know. I usually lose the 6 max HP, because it's not that much less healing. Squish! The boulder flattens you a little as it passes by, but otherwise, you can get out of here. Alright, so we're here at the next one, which is just the enemy. It's a regular fight. We're going to use this armaments first and upgrade all 4 of those other cards in our deck. It's a good deal. And then we're going to use these 2 defense cards, which means we're going to take no damage and we can deal 21 damage to something, and we're going to just destroy this thing outright. Which it's also good to destroy that other enemy first, because now when we destroy this one, it doesn't matter that he's going to make us vulnerable because there's no other enemies to attack us. So we're going to use these defense cards. Means we don't have enough energy to bash the card now, but that's okay because we can do 26 damage between these 2. Which isn't enough to kill him, but it doesn't matter because we're not going to take any damage. And now we can just destroy him with a simple strike. We get gold, another potion. This is a flex potion. It gives you 5 strength, but only until the end of your turn. So if you're going to play a bunch of attacks that turn, pop this on and do 5 extra damage for each one. Again, more cards. If you want to pause them and read them, you can. Nothing we're excited for. All right, so this is there's always a bonfire right before the boss, always, and you can use that to do whatever you need to do. We're at max health already, so we're just going to upgrade our other body slam, and now we're ready to fight the boss. And like I said, there's several different bosses you could get. It's random which one you get. This one has the split buff on them. So when its HP is at or below 50%, we'll split into 2 smaller slimes with slime boss's current HP. So when he gets to 70 HP, he's gonna split into 2 smaller bosses, and they'll both have 70 HP. So the smaller and then those will also have split, so they'll split and get smaller. So you can have up to the 4 smallest slimes at once. And yeah, they each do less damage the smaller they get, but they still apply awful negative things and throw those slime cards into your deck. So they're really annoying. This is probably the hardest Act 1 boss, in my opinion, depending on your deck. So we're going to do this first, upgrade those other cards. We don't really need the block. So even though it would let us do more damage there, I'm going to use this and apply some vulnerability. So we're out of energy, but we will go ahead and play this body slam since we do have 5 block. I'm going to do 7 because he's vulnerable. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I meant to use our strength potion. I usually use whatever potions I have on a boss, unless I'm saving them for a specific reason. We only have body slam, so we'll use these 3 defense cards, and now we can deal 25 damage for each one. Because he's vulnerable. So when we do that, that's going to do 50 damage. That's going to take him below 75. It's going to take him to 68. And then he's going to split, and we'll have 2 smaller ones at 68 health. So I think what I'm going to do instead is use this flex potion. So now each one is going to do more. They're going to do 33 damage. So I'm doing that because I want him to be as low health as possible. So when he splits, they have less health, both of them. And when they split, it interrupts whatever they're going to do. So if I could get him below half health, he won't attack. And So unless I want to spend energy to get rid of these slimes, this is what I have to work with. And I'll go ahead and actually I'm going to throw this vulnerable on him just so I can do more damage with this. And then I'm going to attack with this, and we got him below half. So now we're not going to take any damage. And don't worry too much about taking damage on the boss fight, because at the end of the boss fight you get all your health back before you start the next act. So you'll go back to max health even if you only have 1 health. Now in the higher ascension levels, you heal, like you saw the one that you heal less after boss fights, so just be aware of that. So they're going to do 17 damage. Let's go ahead and do this so we can upgrade that defense card. And see, we got the frail debuff on us, so we're not healing for as much as we should be. So we'll go ahead and do that, just so we don't take all that damage. Oof. Now see, they're all 3 attacking, which that's when this boss can be a problem. So you can see we only have 1 defense card that's going to do 3 blocks, and that's nothing. Let's try and get rid of these smaller guys first. You can see this body slam is doing 2 damage, even though we don't have any block, because we have 2 strength that adds damage to our cards. So let's go ahead and put that block on and deal 7 damage to him. Probably should have gotten rid of slime instead, but whatever. So you can see there we're almost at half health just after that 1 turn, so that's what can make this boss tough. We're going to use both of these in the body slam so that we can get rid of him. And we'll use that last energy to exhaust 1 of the slimes. We only took 1 damage, so that's pretty good. So we'll use those for some blocking and do 11 damage to him. But we're still going to take a lot of damage. And you see they're just adding more and more of these slimes into our deck. You can see you got 6 in our discard pile, and there's 1 in our draw pile, and 2 in my hand. So we got like 9 or something like that. So you could be getting rid of them, but I'm just trying to muscle through it. So this will be enough to kill him, so we're going to do it. And then we'll use this and destroy him. Or not destroy him, but hit him. Okay. So we'll be okay now, I think. We're in a much more manageable spot. He's not attacking, so we're not going to play these defense cards. We'll just get rid of these 3 slimes. Unfortunately, we can't do any damage. So he's just adding more frail to us. Yeah, so this is getting to be bad here. That frail on, we're only healing for 3 blocks, so we can do 5 damage because we got the strength. And we'll get rid of a couple slimes. So we're getting real low on health now, so this is starting to be worrying. We're going to start getting rid of these slimes. I probably should have played this to upgrade that. I didn't notice it. I wish I had now. So he's still not attacking. That's really good. So let's put that on. And that. And then we can do a little bit more damage with this. So now when he splits, each one will have 13 health. Alright, so let's play this, upgrade that defense card, and get some block. And get that, and now we have 17, so we can take out one of these, and we're actually going to, well, they're both doing negative stats effect, but we're going to block the damage. Let's go ahead and just take that one out. Yeah, so we'll be fine now. I believe we're going to use that, upgrade that, and we have enough block already to not take any damage, so let's get rid of one of the slimes. Alright, so we should be able to take him out here. This does 11, and since we have some block on, we can take him out. And there we go, we beat the first act boss. So we got 101 gold, plus 25 from the golden idol. So we really got 126 gold. So that's really good. And we get to add a card, which are usually really, see these are gold on the lettering. That means they're like, I can't remember I guess ultra rare, I don't remember what they call them. See, this one costs 3 energy to play, but you deal 32 damage, upgraded to 42. The feed card is really cool because if you defeat an enemy with it, it exhausts after you use it, so you only get to use it once. But if you defeat an enemy with it, you raise your max HP by 3 permanently. So if you can do that like every fight, you can really get a lot of health, so that's really cool too. I actually don't want any of these cards, which is unfortunate. But we also get to open a boss chest, which gives us a choice between 3 boss relics. So this one gives you an extra energy to start every turn, so we'll have 4 instead of 3. That is invaluable. But you only get to play 6 cards per turn. Some decks that's okay, some decks it isn't. Let's see what else we got. This one also gives you 1 energy, but every enemy starts out with +1 strength. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but it can be, like, especially for enemies that attack multiple times. That means they're going to do an extra damage for each hit. So, and this one, whenever you lose HP, you draw a card. So you get hit, ooh, draw an extra card. So you have more cards when it's your turn, obviously. I don't think we'll be playing a deck that, I don't know. I don't think we'll be playing more than 6 cards in a turn. But there are cards that I could get that it would make us do that. I think I'm going to get this one. More energy, and then they all have strength. Because we're building a block deck, so it shouldn't matter. Alright, Act 2, the city. And again, that gives you a little sneak peek at what boss you're going to be fighting, if you're familiar with them already. Here's a new path. Like I said, I'm going to try and go through these a bit faster instead of explaining all the enemies and everything. Get a good rundown of the first act already. So this one has a merchant, 3 question marks, a bonfire, then we could go left for question marks, another bonfire, treasure chest, keep going left to an enemy, another merchant, question mark, enemy. So you only fight like 3 enemies on that path, not counting the first one you fight. First floor is always an enemy. So that's actually a really good path. No elites, only a few enemies. I like that path a lot, so we're going that way. Alright, start out with armaments. So we're going to upgrade all the rest of the cards in our deck. This is the first one we've seen that's going to do multiple hits. So he's going to do 6 damage 2 times. He's going to attack twice. So it's normally only 5 damage twice. So he normally only does 10, but since he has the extra strength, he's doing 6 damage instead of 5. But he's attacking twice, so he gets 2 more damage. So that's where it can be kind of troublesome. But you see we have 4 energy now. So that's really good. I think we'll play this and get the vulnerable on him, and then this block. So we have 13. We're still going to block all of his damage. That's why we did it that way. And now we can do 19 damage with the body slam. All right, and we're going to play this armaments again and upgrade those other 2 cards. And he's not attacking, so we don't really need we don't need the block. And yeah, we can do damage with the body slam, but this gives us 8 block, which is going to make that do 8 damage, and this does 9 damage, so we're going to use that instead. It did 13 because he's vulnerable, so we'll put these... Oh, never mind. I forgot. We have 4 energy now. We can play all of them. And so he's doing that horrible thing. So what he just did, he put Hex on us. Whenever you play a non-attack card, shuffle 1 Dazed into your draw pile. Remember, Dazed is just a useless card, and it can really add up, especially in a deck like this where we're blocking. So there's a Dazed going into our draw pile. There's going to be another one. But we should beat him on this turn, so it doesn't matter. Alright, cards I don't want. See if he has something we want. So I would like to remove a card, but I want to look at these and see if there's any relics I want. So Dolly's Mirror is a cool one because you pick it up and you get to pick a card in your deck and just make a copy of it. So if you're trying, like when we were talking about earlier, that infinite deck with the drop kick, you want another drop kick, that's a great way to get one. Relics are generally expensive though. And I don't think I want to do that. This one's cool because instead of adding cards into your deck, we've been skipping cards a lot, we could actually just raise our health by 2 instead, or max HP. So that's another good way to get a lot of health. This one, at the start of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemies. We're going to remove that strike, because we don't need it. And I think we're just going to save the rest of our gold. I could get a 3rd body slam, but I think that's a bit too much at this point. And yeah, we'll save our gold. And so we're going to go this way. And this one is Upgrade Shrine. Great place. Before you lies an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit. So we don't have to do anything, but we can just pray and upgrade a card, and we'll upgrade a defense card. Alright, and we're going to go to the right again, to the unknown. Another shop. Awesome. So I don't see anything again that I really want. I do love this card normally. So this card is kind of like Armaments, except it upgrades every card that you have, not just the ones in your hand, which is awesome. And you can upgrade it to only cost 1. So that's a really good card to have. It makes having to upgrade at rest sites pretty pointless. Different relics here you can look at. But we're just going to remove Bash. You're like, what? Remove Bash? Your vulnerability. We have, but now, think about it. Without the dash, we're going to draw. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards without Bash. So we're going to be drawing. If we can get this down to 5 cards, we're going to be drawing the same 5 cards every time, and that really helps. Because if I can get rid of these 2 unupgraded defend cards, then we'll always have. Actually, what I'd rather do is get rid of the armaments and upgrade one of these, because it blocks for more, and if they're all upgraded, then we don't need this anymore. But always have 2 body slams and 3 defend cards. That means we'll always have 24 block and deal 24 damage per body slam. So that would be awesome. There are some cards that give us more block than the 8 of the upgraded defend cards. We just haven't seen any yet, which is annoying. So the Nest. A long line of hooded figures can be seen entering an unassuming cathedral. Naturally, you join the line and are quickly surrounded by cultists. They ignore you as they gleefully chant and wave their weapons around. Murder, murder, murder. You eye a donation box. Sorry about that. So you eye a donation box. You can smash and grab it and obtain 99 gold, or stay in line to obtain Ritual Dagger, which you lose 6 HP, but the Ritual Dagger card deal 15 damage. If fatal, permanently increase this card's damage by 3. So if you kill a lot of enemies with it, it'll get really powerful. And it only costs 1 energy. But we're not going to do that. We'll just take the gold. They didn't even notice. So another rest site with full health, so we will upgrade a defense card. And we're going to go this way. Oh, now see this event, Ancient Writing. Scaling the city, you notice a wall covered in the writing of ancients. As you try to wrap your head around what the puzzling symbols and glyphs could mean, the writing begins to glow. Suddenly, the message becomes clear. So we can choose Elegance or Simplicity, remove a card from your deck, or upgrade all strikes and defends. This event will win you runs. Upgrading all your strikes and defends is just amazing. Not for us right now, however. We only have 1 defend card that's not upgraded, and we don't have any strikes. So basically, do we just want to upgrade this 1 card or get rid of a card? We definitely want to get rid of a card. And we're going to get rid of... we're going to get rid of Armaments, actually, because it does the same thing as this, and we'll be in the same boat no matter which one we remove. So we're going to get rid of Armaments because we still have the potential to upgrade that one for more block. Alright, we're going to go this way and get the Bonfire. And upgrade that last card. Now all of our cards are upgraded, so right now, rest sites are kind of useless to us. We're going to go to the left so that we can go left up here to the shop. Whereas if we go this way, there's another bonfire, yes, but we don't really need that as we just established, and there's more enemies, so we're going this way. Alright, we get the Dreamcatcher Relic. Whenever you rest, you may add a card into your decks. So, just when you rest, it gives you a chance to get a card. We don't want to fight the elite. We're going to fight the regular enemy. Now these guys can suck. Every time they attack you, they steal whatever the amount is under them there. 15 gold in this case. So they just steal the gold, and then they'll throw on some block and try to run away. If they run away, you lose that gold forever. But if you kill them, you get the gold back. But they actually do decent damage. They're going to do 22 damage to us. But remember, our deck is really small and just almost exactly how we want it. So we got 24 block. We're going to block all that damage, and we actually are going to do enough damage to get that guy. Oh, and I forgot to show you the potion earlier. We got a fire potion. It just deals straight 20 damage, which can be useful. All right, we're going to do this again. We didn't get our second body slam, which is unfortunate. But that's okay, because it's going to take 3 turns to beat him anyway, because we only do 24 damage. And we'll beat him right now. There we go. So this is our 30 gold stolen back, because he attacked us twice. And then the extra gold for beating him. Alright, and then we can add a card. So we actually are going to get this power card. I know what I was saying about only wanting 5 cards, but this is a power card, so once you use it, it goes away. And it's going to give us more block at the end of our turn. Which is useful, yes, but if there's another card I'm hoping we'll get, another power card called Juggernaut, and it would really go well with that if we do. So another shop, and nothing I want. We could actually, yeah, it's going to take every last piece of gold we have, but let's remove this last defense. So now we will, except for our first turn when we have the power, until we use the power card. Once we use that, we will be drawing the same 5 cards every time. The Mausoleum. Venturing through a series of tombs, you are faced with a large sarcophagus studded with gems in the center of a circular room. You cannot make out the writing on the coffin, however. You do notice black fog seeping out from the sides. So we can open the coffin to get a relic, but there's a 50% chance we'll become cursed. We'll get that card in our deck, which we really don't want. Again, you can open the coffin. If you get the relic, great. If you get cursed, you can reload it and come back into it, and then don't open it. You can just leave. It'll be the same every time. So it's not like it's already decided whether or not you're going to get cursed, and it's saved. So you can do that if you want. We're not going to do that now. We're just going to leave because I don't want to get that curse card. Alright, we're going to play this power card, I think, because they're going to do 18 damage. Playing these, and this, yeah, that'll give us enough. Oh, I forgot we have 4 energy, we can play them all. Alright, so that power card gave us Metallicize. At the end of your turn, gain 3 block. So it'll just give us more block. Unfortunately, it doesn't do it till the end of your turn, so it doesn't add to Body Slam's damage. So we're going to go ahead and attack this guy. Alright, and so now we're going to be drawing this hand every single turn. Now, the thing is, we can defeat him, but he's going to make us vulnerable, which is going to make his 19 damage do 50% more damage. So he's going to do like 28 damage, or 28 or 29 damage. And we're only going to block 27 of it, and I think we're okay with that. We could just attack him instead. And not take any damage, but we're going to heal up that little bit of damage he does to us, that 1 damage. So we'll be alright. So he's doing 20 damage. Oh, he put Frail on us though, so now we're not healing for as much. Now we only got 18, so he's going to do more damage to us again. But again, that's okay. Oh, one other thing. You notice he starts out his turn with block because he has plated armor on, which is different from Metallicize. So with plated armor, he gains whatever the amount is. It's 11, but every time I deal damage to him, his plated armor goes down. So now he's getting 11, where he started out with like 14, I think, 14 or 15, because I've hit him multiple times, so it keeps going down. Eventually we get to 0 and he won't get anything. Whereas Metallicize, you just get it all the time, no matter what. It's usually for a smaller number. See, now his plated armor's at 9. Like I said, if we were in a hurry, like doing a speed run or something, we could have thrown that fire potion and killed him on that turn. But there's no need to. We didn't take any damage, and now we can just kill him. Alright, no cards we want. Another event, Forgotten Altar. In front of you sits an altar to a forgotten god. Atop the altar sits an ornate female statue with arms outstretched. She calls out to you, demanding sacrifice. So we have different options here. Normally, you just have sacrifice, gain 5 max HP, but lose 19 HP. Or desecrate, and you get a curse card. Those are usually the only 2 options you have. This one's usually locked. It's unlocked for us because we have the Golden Idol Relic. So we can give her the Golden Idol Relic, and we'll get a special relic in return, but we lose the Golden Idol. Usually, it's worth it to do those. See, we're going to get a better relic, basically. But it's cool that we have the Golden Relic, because if you don't have that for some reason, then you just don't have this option. So a lot of things affect each other, kind of like Hand of Fate, too. So we're going to do that. As you gently set the idol onto the altar, a cold wind swirls throughout the room. The arms of the statue begin to discolor and crumble. Your golden idol begins to dull in color and begins bleeding from its eyes. The bleeding never ceases. So you can see we now have a bloody idol. Whenever you gain gold, heal 5 HP. So better depending on how you look at it. Like, oh man, I just wanted the more gold, then should have kept the golden idol. This one makes it a lot easier to heal. I know we're at full health right now. Doesn't seem like it's too hard. Trust me, you're usually going to want a way to heal. So healing an additional 5 HP because you get gold at the end of every fight is awesome. Especially combined with this, you could be healing 11 HP after each fight. That's awesome. Alright, so now we're at the last bonfire before the boss fight. We have nothing to upgrade. Oh yeah, we do. I forgot we got the metallicize, so we'll upgrade that. Because it's 4 block instead of 3 every turn. And here is the Act 2 boss fight that we got. The Collector. So he's got the question marks above his head. This enemy's intentions are unknown, but he's not attacking. We know that. So we're going to play this power card. And we'll play these and do whatever damage we can. End our turn. Oh, he summoned minions. So they have the little skull icon or whatever it is. They're minions. So you don't have to defeat them. If you defeat him, the battle's over, you win. They run away. That's what a minion means, basically. But they can do their own things. So that you can see they're each going to do 8 damage to us. So that's an extra 16 damage. So we can defeat them, but he can also resummon them. So you gotta decide whether or not it's worth it. So we're gonna defend up. And with the 4 we're gonna get from Italicized, so we're gonna have 28 damage, or defense, at the end of each turn. And you can see they're gonna do, what, 16 plus 19 is 35 damage. So you can see they're gonna be doing 11 damage to us per turn. Now can we defeat him quick enough? I think we can. Especially with that fire potion we have. So we're going to do 24 damage with each body slam. So we're going to do 48 damage each turn. So I think we're going to kill him way faster than he kills us. And even if we really wanted to, we could destroy his minions, each one in a turn. So. You can see he's about to do something to us. He put 3 vulnerable on us, 3 frail, and 3 weakened. That's bad. And you can see they all they got strength added. They already had the strength, didn't they? Because of my relic. Why are they doing more? I guess they're just doing more damage. Different attack. So he's not attacking now. That buff or that icon above him means he's gonna attack. Not attack. I'm sorry. He's gonna block and put a buff on. So we're gonna do this. We're only gonna do 13 damage for each one of these, but I think we're still gonna go ahead and do it. We're only gonna take 2 damage from them. Not a big deal. You can see they're doing a lot more damage now. And he's got block on, so this could be bad. Maybe we should have defeated those minions. Because we can't defeat them in one turn now because we have the weakened on and the frail, which hurts our attack as well. So they're going to do 16, 16 is 32, plus 33 is 65 damage. They're going to kill us if we don't block at all. Obviously we're going to. That's all we can do. I don't know. He's not adding any block for his next turn. I think we're going to continue to attack him. This run might be over here, guys. We might lose on this next turn if we can't defeat him. And I don't think we can. I think we're about to lose. Yeah, this game's over. Even with this fire potion. He still has 23 health and we don't have enough. So that's going to be the end of the run. We lost. Unfortunately, there's a couple cards that we just didn't get. The Juggernaut card, power card, I really like. Every time you gain block, you deal damage to an enemy, like 7 damage when it's upgraded, which is great for this deck. But another card we didn't get was Barricade, which that lets you, it's another power card. With Barricade, you don't lose your block at the end of your turn. So all that leftover block we get to keep for the rest of the fight, unless it gets attacked off, obviously. And then another card I wanted was Entrench, which doubles your block. So have Barricade and Entrench, you can get your block into the hundreds. And with Body Slam, that means you're doing that much damage, and that's an awesome deck. And that's my favorite deck on this character. So you get points for how many floors you got, how many enemies you beat, blah 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 blah. And you actually don't have all the cards for a character unlocked at the start. You build up points and unlock more cards. I already have them all unlocked for the 3 starting characters. I think I still have a few to unlock for the Watcher, the last new character. But that's what the points are for. So that's Slay the Spire. I'm not going to do another run, try to win. That was just an overview of how to play the game, what it's like. So yeah, check it out. You can go in here and look at all the cards, like all the Ironclad, the silent cards, the Defect and the Watcher, and then you got your colorless cards and your curses. So you can see all the relics and what they do, and all the different potions. So really cool stuff. You can see all the stats on the characters, on your runs, and all your run history and everything. So really cool game. I love this game. One of my favorites of all time. And I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry we couldn't win, but you know, like I said, you're not going to win every time. So anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great night. Bye bye.